I can't trust these hoes. No. I must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No. I cannot trust these leeches. I cannot trust these streets. I cannot trust these bitches. I gotta trust on me. I cannot tell my business. Stretching out racks, no fitness. Yeah, I swear we ghosts. We need to go down and get this. I put the gang on my shoulders and carry on. I put the strap on my shoulder and bring it home. Haters be low-key fans and singing my songs. I swear to God, if I see them in person, I'm doing them wrong. I gotta stay focused, they pull out their camera, take pics. Every time I'm closing my eyes, I'm seeing me running from pigs. She don't speak or don't talk, she shy, she needed something to get lit. You coming and fuck up the vibe, we scratching your name off the list. Yeah, I got my soul in this. Yeah, then I told them this. Yes, sir. Yeah, gotta stay focused. Yeah, we don't focus. I must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No. I must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No.
Yeah, maybe too big, it can't fit in the driveway. I've been fucking hard since Big Worm been on Friday. I've been tripping hard on these hoes since MySpace. Taking the top out of beans, baby. Taking the top out of beans. If I pull up with your rent, baby, you guys swallow my kids. If I'm a dog, I'm a pit, baby. Having fantasy love with a rich lady. I put it on my lid. She mad, I told my friends. I stop hanging with your nigga, just fuck on you. Every day, baby, on your daddy. And I wanna caress you, just fuck on you, bitch. I'm trying to add you to my life. Rose gold beans, rose gold rims and ties. Rose gold shady chain gang. All's brother is bro, that is up in Petersburg. Slaw, make your pussy slurp.
Today, we're going to talk about the loaded college basketball slate. We're going to cash another squad ride, and rumor has it, we might be crafting up an A-team and a B-team prize picks lineup. This is behind the lines. I mean, Chucky Hepburn had Boopy Miller in jail. It was tough to watch. Maybe the worst game I've ever seen. Boopy Miller missing layups left and right. Couldn't cover a parked car. You got Chucky Hepburn jacking up threes. Didn't have a chance because for some reason, I don't know why, but in hockey, a 2-goal lead is actually like losing. It might be worse than losing. You might as well be losing because a 2-goal lead is never safe.
This feels like a game where Ohio State can make this weirdly close, but it's a game where you look at it and you're like, okay, Purdue should dominate at home, and you turn it on because it's a tied game with 3 minutes left and Ohio State's fighting. I think this is going to be a close game when really on paper it shouldn't be at all.
And then I see this quote from the coach, his starting center, Tomislav. He literally said, deathly ill. The kid's sitting on your fucking bench. What are you talking about? He's deathly ill. He looks fine to me. And if he is that sick, why is he sitting next to the rest of your team? Are the neurons in your brain not functioning? What's going on up there in Illinois? What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Wednesday, episode 646 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you haven't started tracking your bets over there on Bookit yet, today could be a great day to start. Go check out Bookit Sports on the App Store or Google Play. I promise once you check it out, you're going to keep using that puppy. One of the best bet tracking apps out there by far. All right, go check out Bookit Sports. I promise you'll keep using that puppy. Jovan, happy Wednesday. We already got a resub coming in hot. We got Rav resubbing, getting involved. Let's go, Rav. Sure we can.
Saying the brain rot from the intro.
Sure we can.
Love that.
Yep. Feels like a game where Ohio State weirdly can make this close, he says. Yeah, we'll talk about that game. And the rest of this.
Let's talk about the intro, Krabs.
Ooh. Sure. Ohio State, that team should just never be bet on. I'll be honest with you. But we'll talk about that game tonight. They got an interesting game, only getting about 1.5 points on the road. We'll talk about it. Along with the rest of the loaded college basketball slates. We might even have some time to craft up an A-team and a B-team today, Jovan. It's been a while, but rumor has it you got some squares you like. And I'd be down to see if we can craft up 2 lineups today, besides just the Sharp Report format. All right. Why don't we look at the recap from yesterday? W Squad Ride, W Illinois. Let's fucking go, dude. That was a beatdown.
Krabs. Love that.
That was a beatdown. Had a weird feeling about it. Iowa is actually that bad on the road as well.
Horrendous squad. Horrendous program out there in Iowa.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you can't be considered legit if you can't win any games on the road. And Iowa, I mean, they didn't show up. They didn't get off the bus. I guess they kept it relatively close. It was like a 7-point game at half. But, I mean, the second half was a bloodbath. So a relatively no-sweat squad ride there. W's. All right, we got a lot more to come. Not going to sit up here and celebrate, though. A lot more W's this week that we need to smack before we get on our high horse. All right, we got Sam Oliver coming in hot with a resub as well. W's. Let's get hot, fellas. Yes. W Sam. W vibes. W vibes. Oh, my goodness, coming in with a W chat. It's always funny how quiet people are on the feed when BTL wins. Everybody wants to hate and nobody wants to congratulate. Yeah. I'll leave it at this and then we'll move on. There were 30 replies to the Squad Ride L the other day. There was like 3 replies yesterday to the Squad Ride W. So people just like to hate. And if that's what they want, if that's what makes their lives and days better, I don't think it does, but more power to them. If that makes them happy, bitch, and let them do it. All right. It's just more engagement for us. So, W Sam Oliver, we appreciate you, Beast.
Has to be some words about the auto tail recaps, man. There were some horrendous wagers in those auto tails. Really bad wagers.
All right, let's see how we did.
Mr. Wager came through, and I think Luca ended up coming through with his PRA. Other than that, there's a lot of Caleb
Southern Miss. Get that face reveal up moving.
Horrendous wager.
Sure. Now we're going to get 20 auto tails today again.
Yeah, we shouldn't have brought it up.
I wasn't going to.
Had to be brought up.
Mavs ML, cake.
Mavs ML, cake.
It did cover.
Zion points, cake.
Okay. Caps team total under hit.
That was hit. That was Mr. Wager. W Mr. Wager.
On grounds.
Somehow, some way.
That was a great read. First half under in Bama.
I forget what that one did. I think that was also.
That one could have hit. I'm going to check right now.
Check slip.
I know the full game over hit, and looks like the first half under did hit. That was actually a great fucking play.
Oh, wait, that squeaked.
Yeah, that actually did squeak.
Oh, yeah, that is green.
Wow. Anybody know how Southern Miss did on the diamond last night?
They lost by 7 runs. It's 15.
Okay, W Caleb Muse. And then Dorian Finney-Smith.
Game, though.
Anybody know if DFS, Hokie Legend, hit 2 threes last night?
Over $1 million.
Okay. How about a goose egg? Sure. Well, chat, we're gonna get back on the saddle today. We're gonna cash some. We're gonna cash a Prize Picks lineup, Sharp Report 4-man. We might even get to an A team and a B team, and let's smack another squad ride. All right, let's stay locked in. Let's stay dialed. Let's have another day like we did yesterday. W hype train moving and grooving right now. We got Turner Mac coming in hot with a resub. W Turner Mac, appreciate you, my man. Let's take a peep at the Sharp Report recap from yesterday as we get another subby coming in from the Big Cheesy. W.
Cheesy. Love Cheesy coming in here. It's good.
He says he loves the daily info you guys give. Stay locked. We will, Big Cheesy. Sure.
You should have swept Krabs.
Yeah.
Hook 'em off.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I'm not going to bitch about it too much. Georgia was a great play. Shout out your Gators. Caught the falling knife there. I'm not going to act like it was, the greatest fucking play of all time there, because if you faded Florida the last 5 games, you're in piss. So good to get the Bulldogs and a much needed win for the Bulldogs. I'd say they're alive again. I'd say they're back on the bubble after that big time win. Huge
I think they were
win for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they were first 4 out before that game. So I would
they might even be in that puppy.
I would think that pushes them in as of right now.
Yep. You're probably right. And I think I agree. And I think they should be in that puppy. They have a lot of big wins this year, and I'm rooting for Dakota LaFleur, former Mount St. Mary's legend. They got a couple kids from the Mounts. They got Montgomery as well, who doesn't play much. 2 Mount legends on that Georgia team. So I'll be rooting for them in March if they get there. Shout out Illinois. Shout out the Aztecs, who are starting to look like they're a team that's deserving of a spot in March. They're probably solidified into the tournament as well after that big-time win. Biggest win of the season at home for the Aztecs last night. Had to get it done against New Mexico, and they did. I'm starting to like that Aztecs team. Once again, Brian Dutcher running them into form. A little bit of a different squad than typical. Usually they got a bunch of old heads. They're very smart and slow. This year, a little different. They got some younger guys. They have actual more talent out there on the courts, and Dutcher is trying to keep the young guys in line. Miles Bird has had some attitude issues. They talked about a freshman who got a technical 2 games ago as well, who got benched at the end of the game yesterday. who's had some attitude issues. So if he can keep those guys in check, this might be one of the more talented teams San Diego State has had in a while. So you can never doubt Coach Dutch. Did a great job once again last night. And real quick, Goodsey, apologize. But can we get that Sharp Report recap up here once again? Josh Hubbard, cash late. That one was kind of lucky. And then Miles Bird hooked under, ended with 13 points. That's on me. He was way more active, though, in that game. Played great, had a great attitude. The team was gassing him up. I should have taken his PRA, and that would have cashed with ease. So that's on me. Isolating the points. Should have been a sweep. Wasn't a sweep. Jovan, great work from you, though, as well. 3-2. We take that and we move.
Take that. Sure. I've been farming 3-2s lately.
We do. Bro, nothing to be upset about. That's good. We take 3-2s. We move and we groove.
We were a point in SOG away from a 4-man there.
Yeah, I know. We were insanely close because Kucherov ended with 3.
Yeah, I wish the Oilers would have shown a little bit of a pulse.
Yep.
I didn't expect
to get
railed. That was fun, though. W Bolts.
Sure. W Bolts. Needed one more from Cooch. That's okay. That was a demon. Anyway, so I'm sure somebody out there had the Goblin and cashed.
Yeah, fair.
I guarantee you. All right. Let's lock in, chat. Let's take a peep really quick at the let's look at the TNT 2-piece and recap that puppy real quick. W Goots. Go.
Yeah, it's just
how about it?
It's one of the best squares of all time for you, Krabs. Not a single field goal attempt.
So he just got a free throw, huh?
Yeah, he went 1 for 2 from the line, and I don't think he only came in. He only had one shift for like 8 minutes, partially because they were getting blown out, but partially because they needed Wendell to play and not him. So he played for like 8 minutes.
Look, guys, I know it has not been the best stretch of squad rides, and it has not been the best stretch of straight bets or just the Sharp Report in general over the last 2 months. It has not, simply. But I feel like the TNT 2-piece continuing to cash damn near every week. If you guys aren't following up with this, you might want to start tapping in every Tuesday because, it doesn't even make sense.
I don't get it
at this point.
It
doesn't make sense.
It's the dumbest squares every time. I don't know if I forgot. I texted you guys about this, but like the Dinwiddie, the 3 shots Spencer Dinwiddie took to get 9 points were absurd. One of them was like
TNT 2-piece Hall of Famer.
He is.
Like at least 4 times.
He is.
He took one where he was just standing in the corner. He had Jared Vanderbilt in his face. He was like facing up for him for like 5 seconds. Just took a contested 3, water.
Okay.
Then he hit a transition 3 where he had absolutely no business pulling up from 3, water. Then he hit some crazy and 1 like floater on the baseline and then hit the free throw for 9. That was an absurd 9 points from Dinwiddie.
Well, maybe he's the type of player where the more difficult it is, the better he plays.
Literally was.
Right of the lights.
He also, I think, missed like 2 wide open 3s with nobody even on that side of the court.
Sure. That's a shitty way. He's a contrarian on the court. He is. Maybe that's why I've grown fond of him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always feel like I end up taking Dinwiddie more often than most. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I sat next to his baby mama in that courtside Wizards game a couple years ago.
That's probably what did it.
And his kid was running around being super annoying the entire game. Like he was on the team. That could be it. That could be it. We got Matthew Odell coming in, resubbing. Let's fucking go, dude. When are we getting the MLB futures place? He's cutting the shit. He's getting right to it, asking the important questions. I'll be honest, guys. I want to see a couple more Nats up there. I want to see a couple more Rando McGees up on the board. And I still feel like we're waiting for another wave of squares. Jovan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've had a new addition since we talked about this about a week and a half ago to the boards.
I don't think so. So there's probably another one coming in like a week, maybe, if I had to guess. I'm hoping this is not the entire board. Not that I can see it, but I will be able to.
I can't speak for Jovan, but I'm pretty sure I remember him saying you got a couple squares you're pretty much locked into, and you're kind of trying to finalize, the other half. We'll see what ends up coming up here in the next week or two, right?
I think there's a pool right now. I don't think anything's definitively locked in, but you've heard me talk about DeGrom, Julio, Hunter Green, Tatis. All those guys are in the convos. Again, DeGrom bumped down too. I think they're starting to bump some stuff.
Okay. All right. Chad, you guys like that one? I didn't think that one was going to hit. Let's see a couple more Nats on the board first. Okay.
A couple Nats, man.
We got a hype train moving and grooving today as well. Chat W's after a squad ride. Love to see it. Love to see you guys getting involved, getting active in the chats. Okay, Jovan, we also do need a golf outright play. Cut the shit. We're less than 24 hours away from a golf tourney this weekend. You got time. You got time. But we're going to need a golf future.
Yeah, I think we might have it, but I mean, he's for sure not making cut after Aldrich.
Well, are you talking about the guy you were mentioning in the group chat yesterday?
Yes, right?
Sure.
This course is right by where he's from, and he's played it 40 times.
Really?
Damn.
Yes.
I didn't know that part of it. That makes me so involved.
Talking about Matthew Clanton?
Luke
Clanton, excuse me. Luke Clanton, excuse me. This is the kid that we sweat out a couple weeks ago who needed to hit a birdie late to get his
we didn't
PGA
really
Tour
sweat
card.
it out,
Didn't
but
get
we
it.
were rooting for him. He needed to make a birdie on 18 to make the cut to get his PGA Tour card. Now he has the same chance this week to make the cut, get his tour card.
Yeah, we love a narrative.
Currently enrolled at Florida State. So
Sure. Yeah, so he'll have a choice to make, but I'm assuming if he keeps playing in these tournaments where he could earn his tour card, he's probably going to take it. But we'll see. Some of these guys end up graduating and going back to school, especially if they're at the end. But yeah, I'm down to take him if that ends up being the guy. Sure. Luke Clanton. Just say the words. Okay. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. I do want to spend some time on the college basketball board here, folks. One question I did want to ask for the chat. I know you guys are asking about when's the MLB, Goat Whales, and Futures dropping. We still have some time. Stick with us, be patient, but they're on the way. A question I do have for you guys. I know we got a BTL 24-hour we owe you guys. Yep. Okay, we want to do this when you guys are all available. We want to do this, when it makes the most sense for the community to get involved, right? Not just for us. Definitely have some time coming up when we can do it. But I wanted to throw you guys some options and some ideas here. MLB opening day is going to be tough. I know I saw some responses to that tweet. I think we're going to be doing some content on MLB opening day. But we are less than a month out from the KBO regular season starting up.
Dude, no way that's getting up and moving.
We are less than 1 month away from the KBO season. I was talking with Grok earlier today, figuring out when that season's starting up. Grok let me know it starts up on March 22nd. Right. Less than a month. Would not mind. It's up to you guys because I don't want you guys getting mad if we're pushing this off for another month, but wouldn't mind pushing it off, doing it right, planning it out, and having more games to sweat, obviously, throughout the night. Me personally, I'd obviously rather do that so we can sweat out KBO overnight, but you guys let me know if that's too long to wait. We can do it sooner. All right, so let's get some comments going in the chat. Do you want it soon?
That would be like around second round of March Madness, too. We could do it. That's weekend.
Yeah, we could do one of the weekends where it's like 32, Sweet 16, Elite 8 weekends where we sweat games during the day and then, KBO at night and hopefully MLB starting up around then as well. Could be a decent option. So let me know in the chat. Keep the words as short as possible so I can read through some of these puppies. But let me know if you want to do it soon. Do it now, right? Or if you guys are cool with waiting and doing it for the KBO. Drop some KBOs in the chat if you're cool with us waiting.
When is
drop some soons, drop some nows if you want it, ASAP. Let me know.
When is that Dodgers series too?
Also, good points.
That would probably be, I guess.
That might be when we're in Vegas, to be honest.
That's right. The last one was too. That's Moose. Yep. Yeah, it's the 18th and 19th. That's Cat.
Yep. I think KBO makes a lot of sense. So does chat. I appreciate you guys being patient, putting the thinking caps on this morning or this afternoon. I think it makes a lot more sense. KBO in 24-hour, it's like PB and J from the Green Guy. I couldn't have said it better myself.
For sure, need to do it.
We could do it together, Rav. It doesn't have to just be a BTL one. We could all do it together. I don't know why anybody would bitch about that in the chat, right? The more the merrier.
Get Drip Splash off and moving for the one time.
Would love to. Yeah, we could combine that, Rav, and do it together, bro. I mean, the more people on there, the better. The better it'll be. So I don't see why anybody would bitch about that in the chat, right? We could do a combo. That'd be cinemas. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. I just wanted to ask you guys that, and I got the answer that I wanted to hear. Okay, so we'll target, early KBO. We'll start planning that puppy out, and we'll do it right. Rav just doesn't want to do the 24-hour alone. Rav, you're not doing that.
I mean,
okay, relax.
Wouldn't want
Nobody's
to do
doing that
alone either.
Nobody's doing that. You're not doing it alone. Okay. All right. Hype train's still moving and grooving, folks. So if you want to get involved, please feel free. We appreciate all you guys. Jovan, let's keep moving and grooving. You want to talk about some winners for today?
Sure.
About that time. Let's power through these puppies. Get through the sharp reports so we can spend some time crafting up some A team and B team lineups here. Pax picks, I'll be honest, I took a glance, not in love with anything for baseball today, so I have no thoughts. I'll open the floor for Goots and Jovan if you guys have anything on the diamond today. I got nothing.
Got some fun pitchers taking the mound, I will say.
Me too.
Maybe a little PP action.
It's never changed, brother. Never change. Okay. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but there's just a silent Goots or Orioles ML in my ear.
Yeah.
I hope you guys heard that too.
It is the Goots Rav spring training blooper bowl.
Yeah, sure. They got the Saganu and Bailey Falter, Yurfy Nerfy up there, most popular square. Interesting.
Sure.
What do you think, Goots? Give me a read. You think your guy Sagana goes out there and shoves today, or do you think he gets lit up a little bit?
He's been looking good in practice on the mound. BP, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
BP.
I mean, I'll be honest.
That
That
looks
looks like
somewhere, Jovan. Like, what do you want me to do?
BP is insane good.
it looks like a pretty good-looking Yurfy at first glance.
I did say that,
right?
and it wasn't because of Sugana. It was because of the Bailey Falter's rat meat.
Sure.
On the other side.
And my contrarian ass would certainly like to take the Nerfy in that because it makes no sense and it's gross. So, sure, I'll give you guys an MLB square. You know what? Fuck it. I'll get involved too. I'll throw $100 on something. Jovan, give me another play, another meme slip, unless I'm just going to go with Aaron Judge. Let me know. If you got something for me on the diamonds, if you got a read, an angle, anything, great. If not, I'll just go Aaron Judge.
I'm looking at these lineups to see who's up and moving. Could I get you to take a pitcher's case potentially?
Sure. Yes.
I'm looking at Shota and I'm looking at Lodolo and Korn.
Ooh. Okay. Shota 2.5.
Yeah, I think they're
Lodolo
both 2.5.
Okay.
I know Lodolo got bumped up. I don't know where Shota started.
You got some bumpages on Lodolo today against the Angels?
Yeah, you know he's hitting leadoff for the Angels today. I think it's his debut. I don't know if I've seen him up and moving in the last couple games, but you get a Trout debut.
Huh. And although I'm in, to buy some Trout stock this season, maybe a Trout debut could be a strikeout or two.
Could
Maybe
be
a first inning strikeout.
I mean, there's a lot of potential whiffs up there for Lodolo.
You got Rengifo up there?
No, thankfully not. But they have a lot of righties that strike out a lot. See Trout, Darno, Ward, Soler, and Moncada. I guess Moncada's not a righty, but he's a switch hitter. But same principle.
Seeing in chat, Trout might have played yesterday.
Did he?
Made his debut.
Yeah, I haven't paid attention to Trout. See if he's up and active.
All right.
Did K once yesterday.
Ooh. I wouldn't mind going with a little Lodolo action for the vibes this afternoon.
In Korn.
What do you think, chat? A little Saganu, Bailey Falter, Nerfy, and a little Nick Lodolo more than strikeouts for the afternoon? Shota was at 2 and got bumped up as well. Splash Dre saying.
Could see that.
You got a preference?
No, I'm kind of down on that ride with Lodolo. Obviously, I mean, he's a red, so of course that's my preference.
Sure. All right, I'm in.
Still let Trent see it.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen him lurking in the chat yet. We might be safe. Lodolo more than 2.5 strikeouts. And Saganu, Bailey Falter, Nerfy. It starts up in 5 minutes. Okay. You guys want that link? And again, you guys know that these should be, 0.25 unit geysers, half unit geysers. This is not, sharp report 4-man. This is not 18B team. This is us having some fun during the stream today. Obviously putting in some work and trying to pick, the right squares, but not just clicking random buttons.
If you're betting spring training, whether it's prize picks or on the book, you should probably assume that it's a loss every single time.
And Caleb said he's nuking it, so he doesn't give a hoot.
Okay, there you go.
Sure.
There you go.
Sure. Trenty said 15 units. Okay.
Maybe 20.
Well, I know you guys are joking, but keep it small. Keep it small. Keep it healthy. Save the coins for the sharp report 4-man and A team and B team. Okay. Let's keep moving and grooving here. Let's talk about some of these straight bets, some of these book plays, Jovan. Let's get right to it. All right. We got the MLB play locked in. I dropped the link in the chat if they want to get involved. Let's reel it back in here. Let's talk about some college basketball. All right. And I want to back Missouri State today on senior night. Should be a good look. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest senior night guy. I've been burned back in teams on senior night. I feel like just as much as I've cashed. But what I like about this game is that Missouri State, they really don't have a lot of good seniors on their team. So it's not like they're going to be, playing some of these guys, I feel like, more minutes than they typically would. It's not really going to affect the game, I guess, as much as I'm trying to say. Sure, there might be some more people in the crowds. It might mean a little bit more. Maybe some of these starters who are younger guys, want to go out there, get a win, last home game of the season, which I honestly think matters more than it being senior night, especially with this Missouri State team. But they're top 5 players. None of them are seniors, so I don't think it matters that much. And I'm okay with leaning into Missouri State here, Jovan. They're playing a Belmont squad, and I'll be honest with you, this is more of a fade on Belmont than it is back in Missouri State. Sure, I love the +1.5 here at home. Looks pretty sharp to me, but Belmont has looked kind of mid over the last month or so. I don't know if you've tuned into Belmont, but they've won 3 of their last 5, but it hasn't really been impressive. They haven't covered 3 of their last 4 games. They got some bad losses in there. They gave up 101 points to Valpo. Can't be doing that. I know Valpo's playing better of late, but come on now. And then they gave up an 82-piece to Northern Iowa. So Belmont's defense has been lacking. They have not impressed me much, and I feel like they're not as good as that record sitting at 19-10 towards the top of that conference. I want to back Missouri State, a hungrier dog here at home. I know we've been leaning more on road teams in CBB this season, but I simply can't resist the spot. Back in Missouri State and back in this young squad to get a win in their last home game of the season, back in Des White, who's a damn good ball player. I got no problems backing him, back in Vincent Brady, the junior as well. Missouri State has a couple guys, and let's hope in their last home game of the season they want to go out with a bang.
I was just looking to see because I saw that they had gotten beat pretty bad in the first game. This is one of the most laughable box scores I think I've ever seen, Krabs.
They got destroyed.
Belmont went 16 of 27 from 3, which is just about 60%. They didn't even they got 19 rebounds in the game. Belmont did. Missouri State out-rebounded them. Missouri State turned the ball over 20 times, which, again, this is all signs of stuff that bad teams do because that's exactly what Missouri State is. But holy shit, that is unbelievable.
Yeah, they lost 85-68.
Yeah.
It was only a couple weeks ago. It's not like it was last year. It's not like it was in the beginning of conference play. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, has to be done. Taking Missouri State, Bookit Squad, but last home game of the season, and I don't think Belmont's like that. I think they're on fraud watch. I'll go ahead and fade them. Okay? Let's swing it around to Jovan's plays. W. Goots, we appreciate you, Beast. Let's see what Jovan's cooking up for today, and he's taking us to CBB as well. Sure.
Yeah, horrendous looking card as I look at, for the first time, all those 3 teams on the graphic, but take it to Penn State first, which I have respected Indiana for a lot of games this season. I've been on, thankfully, the right side of them as dogs quite a bit. And now, when they're coming off of their last couple really good performances, they beat Michigan State. They've had 2 really good wins out of the last 3 games. It finally seems like the momentum is coming for Indiana as they work themselves back onto the bubble, and they're in finally a favorable position where I would think, I'm not Joey Brackets or on the committee, but outside of the one big game they have lurking, they have to take care of all these games that they should win. They have to win at home or on the road. This is the first one of the bunch where they're up against Penn State, a team that they've already taken care of and shot very well against the first time around. The difference now is Penn State is a team that's going to pressure you, a team that's going to make you shoot. Again, Indiana shot very, very well in that first matchup, which is one of the reasons why their offense was able to put up just about 80 points. And they won that game. I don't know if they covered. I think Penn State might have covered. I don't remember the line off the top of my head, but this is a situation where you take what's unexpected in the Big Ten, which a lot of that's been the same story for a lot of these teams that are road dogs. I can't believe how many good bounces I've seen road dogs get. And fortunately, outside of a couple that we've taken, we've been on the right side of them, but it's unbelievable what these road teams are doing. And now you have a team that I think is deceivingly starting to play a little better if you look at Penn State. And a lot of that goes through Niederhauser in the middle, who's playing unbelievable basketball right now. And you would say to yourself, this Indiana team is strongest, I guess, defensively in the paint. They have 2 bigs in there. So it's not the strongest part that you would want to attack as a team, but you also forget, not only do you have Niederhauser playing fantastic ball, but you got Ace Baldwin that's been sleeping the last couple of games. You have Zach Hicks, who's a knockdown 3-point shooter. He's actually been pretty solid on the road as of late, and that's all he's there to do. So I think they can score in Indiana, and I think defensively too, you're going to make a team shoot that did shoot well against you the first time, but this is not how they're built exactly. The reason they've been so successful over the last couple of games is because they've been able to work on the inside. You've had guys be really successful. You had guys be physical inside. It's not going to be the case today. So as much as they do have a little bit of a physicality and size advantage on the inside, and I don't think like YKN is going to be able to completely handle them in the paint. They're also going to force everything out of the middle and make them shoot. So I will pay to find out. Now, when everybody's, I don't know, back on Indiana, when the motivation is at the highest for Indiana as they're starting to get in the tournament, this is when Penn State comes to bite. This is right when Mike Woodson leaves you down.
Certainly lean Penn State. I got some issues, though. I got some trust issues fading Indiana at Assembly Hall. I haven't been able to figure it out.
Rightfully so.
But I hope you have better luck. I have not been able to crack that code yet. Looks like a pretty darn good spot to fade the Hoosiers, though, right after some momentum. They've won 2 of their last 3, 2 big-time wins. Looks like a pretty good late piece today as well. Looks like a pretty good fade on Penn State, too, a team that nobody thinks is good, coming off of 2 wins. Looks like an easy fade. I certainly wouldn't be fading Penn State tonight, but I don't know if I can get to fading Indiana at home.
Sure.
Might be a self-splooger there.
Yeah,
okay?
I figured a lot
Any thoughts on the total? Any thoughts on the total in that game?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like with Penn State, I'm not banking on them to score 1,000,000 points necessarily in this game, but it's more so that I'm looking up the exact number of like how well Indiana did. The first one had 148 points. So, I mean, the total is sort under the first game. It's about where that first game ended, but like Indiana shot really well from the field, kind of tapered off towards the end. And I'm banking on this one, them not shooting as well from 3 as they did in the first half of the other game. So I would automatically lean the under, maybe a little too easy after the first game, but would hope for a slugfest.
Okay. Good. So let me know if there's anything happening on the diamond over there.
Oh, yeah.
I know you got eyes on that puppy.
No, Ladola's
no,
like 2 hours.
Ladola's a little later. Yep.
I see an out.
Ooh. I got a base runner on.
Base runner on for the Kraken.
All right. Let's keep moving to grooving, Goodsy, if you don't mind. Swing it around. Let's see what other straight bet I got crafted up over here. This one's a nasty one. Stick with me. South Alabama and Southern Miss. Probably not a game that you'd be circling to watch or bet on tonight, but I got a pretty good edge in this game, in my opinion. We were on Texas State over the weekend against South Alabama in the game of the year, Jovan. 92-93 final. And Texas State, I don't know how they pulled that one out. We'll take the lucky win there. But South Alabama's best player, I mean, props to Dunning. This kid is fucking unbelievable, dudes. Barry Dunning dropped 45 points in that last game. Carried the entire offense, was the only reason they were even in that game. But, I mean, how can you make an argument to pass the ball when every time he shot the rock, it went in the fucking hoop? So he dropped a 45 Berg in that last game, and I think he had 90 points combined, or like 85 points combined in those 2 games against Texas State. So maybe just a good matchup, or maybe the Bobcats just couldn't figure out, maybe double cover him, and that might help. They didn't do it once. Made no fucking sense to me. But tonight, I'm looking at South Alabama on the roads, coming off that emotionally draining loss, in my opinion. I mean, the kid has the best game ever. He's on SportsCenter. People are gassing him up as they should be, and they still lose the game, right? That's an emotional loss. That's a tough loss. And although this team has covered 3 of their last 4 games, and they've won 3 of their last 4 games, some impressive wins in there as well. They beat Arkansas State, big-time upset outright. They beat Texas State as well. We just talked about them losing, but they beat them 2 games ago, and Marshall. So this South Alabama team overall is playing well, and they're coming off of, a great offensive game, but they still lost. I don't know if they're going to get up on the roads for this matchup against Southern Miss, Jovan. I just could see it being a total fat, happy, complacent spot for one of the best teams in this conference. And if you look at how bad Southern Miss is and why they're struggling, why they're 10-19 this season when they've been solid in recent seasons, they got no shooters. They got no fucking shooters. They're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the country this season, like bottom 60 in the country this season. And Southern Miss,
I think.
Yeah, so
the worst.
They might be the worst.
I
looked at it this morning. I forget what number. They might be the worst. They're down
17th worst, and worst.
Yeah,
worse in the Sun Belt by a pretty large margin.
So Jovan, 2 outs, good. W goods. Jovan, how do you beat South Alabama? There's only one way. You have to shoot the 3 ball. It's the only fucking way. They have a great zone that they run where they make you beat them from the 3-point arc. And as cute as I wanted to get and as sharp as I wanted to get and back Southern Miss in this game, Jovan, I just couldn't get there, but I certainly could get there with this under. After we saw a 45 Berg from Dunning, after we saw a 92 piece from South Alabama in their last game, I want to fade the offense. I think they come out fat, happy, complacent in a massive letdown game. What do they have to get up for against Southern Miss after that bad loss? And then I don't think Southern Miss really shows up as well, either against that zone, because the only way you can beat them is shooting threes, and they are fucking atrocious. Atrocious.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is like I don't want to say a carbon copy because like Southern Miss is a dog, but it's the similar line of thinking, not just because like you have a team who can't shoot against the Southern Alabama or South Alabama zone, but it's also like a semi-sharp spot at home where like I lean the other team on the spread. I don't want to push the button. I'm right there with you, but I'm fine leaning into there being no points in this game and it just being gross and slow. Definitely coming off of that game of the year type game. I don't know how they lost that over the weekend with Barry Dunning doing what he did, but they're going to need other guys to score because as bad as like Southern Miss is on defense too, you also kind of need to shoot threes to beat them too. So it's not exactly South Alabama's strong suit either. So I'm right there with you.
No. I mean, if Dunning wants to go 8 for 13 from 3 again, like he did in that last game, okay.
Yeah,
I'll tip cap.
Probably not happening.
I'll tip cap. Andre Curbelo Doc will be.
Yeah, this is also first game since that. I guess that's
first game since they cut ties.
It's a fun narrative. Maybe Southern Miss just wins. Maybe I might push the button now.
Okay, I'll take that under. We'll swing it around, Gatesy. Let's see what other play Jovan's crafting up. Pretty sure he's taking us to the association.
Yeah, I'm done with the Bulls, man. I'm done with the Bulls. Which
like you've been done with the Bulls.
Yeah, but I haven't really faded them very much. The Sixers was like a standoff, one-off thing, but I'm done with them now, especially when you have I think is a really tough matchup. The Sixers weren't really a bad matchup for them. I was actually kind of leaning into the exact opposite, and the Sixers is terrible. So, I mean, that was a horrendous wager. But the Clippers, you couldn't ask for a better matchup. They're a much better transition defense. I don't know, like how, regardless of if Vucevic plays or not, I'm pretty sure he's not supposed to play and he's going to be out for a couple games. But God forbid he is. Put Vucevic in there or put Zach Collins in there. Who the hell is guarding Zubac on the inside? Who the hell is going to stop anything at the paint when you have Harden going to the rim / facilitating, Kawhi going to the rim? You got Zubac in there feasting. You got everybody off the bench who's really good at getting to the rim. They're not going to stop them. So, like, the question, I don't think in this game is, are the Clippers going to score? Because I think very clearly they are, pretty much at will. Question is, are the Bulls going to shoot like the Golden State Warriors again? And I don't think that's going to be the case, especially when you're playing, I don't know, they've been really good against, I guess, spot-up teams or teams that are very leaky in that area. The 76ers are one of them, and they're just bad in general. The Clippers are nowhere near as bad. So I think this is a perfect spot for the Clippers, which honestly – with the amount of line respect I see the Bulls get very, very often, especially when they're at home, this seemed a little fat, and I know they're a little shorthanded, but seeing a 9 for the Clippers seems very, very odd, I would say, even with, no Vucevic potentially being involved. So I'm taking it. I'm done with the Bulls. I think they're way too much in the paint for the Bulls in this game.
Love the play.
Down 2-0.
Yep, love the play. Spreads up to 9. It's been moving all morning. Yeah, DJ Harris gave up a 2-run nuke.
Oh, GG. Thanks for playing, DJ.
3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 K. DJ, lock the fuck in, buddy.
Season over.
DJ, man.
Not season over.
All right. Well, we're going to scrap back into that game. We're going to put up some runs, so it's not over. Nats are undefeated in spring training, by the way, folks. So if you want to get involved.
And lead off hit for the Pirates.
Okay. Goots, how are you watching this game, bro?
Goots, I'm done. I'm done with Goots.
I'm not. I'm just, there's no video feed.
Yeah.
I'm just watching the real app.
Sure.
So done with Goots, man.
Sure.
I'm sure.
Get the homers out of the way now, DJ.
Sagano is meat.
Did we take the Nerfy or the Yerfy?
Nerf.
Okay. I don't know how that slipped past me. I thought it was the Yerf.
I don't know either. Oh, God.
No.
Yerf. Sorry, Nerf. We need no fucking runs. No runs, no fun.
B. Reynolds at the dish.
No runs, no fun.
Can't have him squeaking 1 or else move it.
Yeah, what's the sitch right now? We got a runner on first, no outs?
Yeah, Fam on first, no outs. Reynolds, Kutch, Endy.
Rav said it's over, fellas. Sorry, blame Goots.
Might be over. Sagano's beef. 0-2 on Reynolds.
You have the worst ownership in sports, and all you do is talk about how much you love the Pirates.
Come on.
Come
Lock
on.
the fuck in. He said you're right. GG's, Jack said no. I hope chat's not
Oh
in the
my
future.
God, we roll these. We roll these.
Double play. Fuck
Roll
yeah,
2.
dudes.
Reynolds is beef, Rav. There we go.
I don't want
Oh.
to hear it about Sagano anymore. He's
It's 2 outs. 2 outs. Give me 3 good, and then we can
Dudes.
talk. We can talk.
Dudes. Hold the line, dudes. One more out, and you can talk all your shit.
McCutcheon's getting on base. Come on.
Dudes.
I need you to be better.
Not yet, Goots. Okay, let's get one more here first.
Okay, go.
Right.
Now we can get it. Now we can talk.
Okay.
W good.
Yeah?
Let's
Let's fucking go, boys. Yes. Yes.
Catch.
And I should have put Judge in there as well. I made it a 3-piece. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, you do need. I feel like the one thing you're missing right now, Krabs, is, I guess, 2 things. I don't know how you didn't put Luka under points with Judge last night. I'm just gonna say it.
Dude, I mean, I had
so
a
disappointed.
weird. I know. It almost felt too easy.
I know.
Right? And you had Trent fading. It almost felt like too easy of a narrative. We kind of talked about it yesterday. I didn't like it. I was wrong. That would have been the easiest, funniest piece of content. That would have been a great fucking 2-piece lineup. Sure. Yeah, I fucked up there. That's on me. Bad reads.
You needed that, but now you need like a goat pitcher fade when one of them takes the bump with Judge, like in spring training. One of these under Ks for these aces.
That shouldn't be hard. None today, though, really, right? No goats up there, really.
I don't think there's any that are like screaming at you. I'm trying to think of what ace you. I mean, you could do Garrett Cole and
Corbin Burns against the Brewers.
What if you did when Cole pitches with Judge and a third? That would be a whole lineup.
That would be something. Goots, I'm surprised you haven't brought up Corbin Burns facing his. I know he's not now anymore, but facing his former team, the Brew Crew.
I mean, who cares? Fuck that guy.
You know he's about to have like a 1 ERA this year. First ever 1 ERA.
So blunt.
All right, let's keep moving to grooving. We got to pick up the tempo and pace here minimally. And not just because UVA is up here on the board. But why don't you go ahead and get that one over with, Jovan? Just power through it real quick.
Yeah, you want to talk about UVA, Krabs?
Real quick.
Figured I would not get you on the board, but it's a similar, I guess, type play to Penn State in the sense that they're playing a team that I think many regard as dead, and this couldn't be, I mean, more of an important spot for Wake, who's like, seems like they're on the cusp right now because they got their big win at SMU. I think that was their like I'm back moment back into the mix, and then they picked up just a horrible loss, just god awful double-digit loss against NC State of all teams. So like now your back's really against the wall because you're gonna have to win all these games leading up to Duke, which on the road is their one big matchup where like they're not going to win, but for any tourney purposes, they're probably going to have to be perfect and at least look great in that game on the road to have any sort of hope of being in the tournament at this point. So I think they're dead. I think it's the point where we declare them dead. I think the same thing we saw last year, unfortunately, with that Wake team that I really loved last year, liked them a little bit coming into this season, not nearly as much, but this team just has no consistency on offense. And this is a Virginia team that they're not the same lockdown defensive team where they're expecting you to get into slugfest. Like last time they played last year, the game didn't even cross 100 points. Both of them were held under 50. So it's not going to be the same gross game, but for a team that has no consistency from Hunter Salas, you have no consistency from any of the bigs, you have no flow of offense on a consistent basis or on a game-to-game basis that you have any crutch of relying on. When you have your back against the wall, I want to fade, especially when you're going against a team that has a pretty sound defensive structure. Again, I know they haven't been nearly as good as they have in past years, but it's a system that's given them trouble a lot of times. And this is obviously a lot of the same players that have stayed for Wake. And I think this is just such a disappointment spot where when you're getting all the pressure on you, you're folding in times like this. I think they'll fold in both these home games, honestly, or both these games before Duke. So I want to get on the first one with UVA. I think they sneak one out, might even win.
I'm sure you do. And that's an awesome story. Let's bring it around here, Gatesy. Enough talking about UVA. That's probably enough UVA talk for the week. All jokes aside, probably a good look. For some reason, they have Wake's number, Jovan, over the years. I don't know what it is, but even without Tony Bennett, I still feel like UVA probably the play, and they're down from 9.5 to 7.5.
I just think there's some kind of Wake voodoo hex with them going into the postseason trying to get a spot.
Yeah, we're hip, RJ, about the New Orleans investigation.
Yeah, there was
really hate
weird.
seeing all this stuff.
They because all the players, including like their best one, James White, he's involved in it, and I know like you don't really get news or injury news from the Southland, but they just like pulled him and a couple from one of their games like 30 minutes before, and there was never an update, like not once. And that was a month and a half ago.
And they haven't played since.
Yeah, none of them have played since. So it's like, it's insane. They're also terrible. And I can guarantee you there's no way, and I'm saying this as an East Texas A&M better, there's no way any of those guys that were not on the floor are also not involved. Because I've never seen many collapses like that. And they've had a couple of them. That one against East Texas A&M was horrid.
You're saying East Texas A&M was involved in that as well?
No. I'm saying because the New Orleans players, the ones that are in trouble with gambling, haven't played.
Correct.
From watching that New Orleans game where they didn't play and the others were on the court, there is no shot in hell that was not also some kind of gambling collapse.
Okay. Jeez, man. The one way that we can fuck this all up, folks, and it's really starting to scare me a little bit. You're getting reports like this now weekly. It's not good. People need to fuck off and leave these kids alone. It's going to ruin it. It's the only way. Golly, man. It's not worth it, dudes. I'm not going to sit up here and try to be a morals guy, but they're going to fuck it up for everyone else.
Yeah. And it's not just rumors.
They got to reel this in.
It's a legit thing that just happened.
They got to reel it in. Yeah, no, this is all over Twitter. This is a thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is probably the 10th school that's been involved with something this college basketball season. Not good. Cannot be having this. Shit. All right, let's keep moving to Graven. I got another play for you, Jovan, here. Let's reel it back in. Butler, plus 6.5. Can't refuse it. Cannot resist. Back in the Butler, this Butler Bulldog squad here at home against St. John's. Jovan, a team that I feel like kind of matches up pretty similarly to St. John's. A physical team, big team, not the greatest shooters of all time, like to be a little physical. I feel like Telford, Brooks, McCaffrey, even Bizjack, who's more of a scorer for them. But they got some big bodies on this Butler team. I feel like they can match up at least relatively well with the Johnnies here in the spot, Jovan, and we can't ignore this line. Certainly looks a little bit short. I know St. John's has not looked their sharpest over the last 2 weeks, but they are, relatively back on track, and they are coming off that big-time win against UConn. So you can make an argument that maybe people are buying back into the Johnnies. They're buying back into Pitino's squad here after 3 straight wins, including a win against Creighton as well. So St. John's maybe getting back on track. The public wanted to hop back on this cash cow. It was cashing left and right early on this season. I want to hop on the Butler bandwagon here, Jovan. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody cares. And I'll be honest with you, they shouldn't be because this team's still under 500. But they're playing really good basketball right now. They're playing fucking hard. They're playing defense. They're covering. They're even winning games right now. They've won 4 of their last 5. They're not playing great opponents. A lot of those wins were against shit teams, DePaul, Georgetown, Providence, Seton Hall. But I do think this team matches up well with St. John's. And I do think this spread is a little bit short. Makes me think Butler keeps it within 2 threes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, speaking of threes, you got to pick a guy if you're taking Butler. Yeah. And I'm with you on the play. You got to pick. It's got to be either Bizjack or McCaffrey. You got to load one of them. Yeah. Because I don't want to say it's the only way they win this game, but St. John's, as good as their defense is, it's not a good 3-point defense because they're just so good in the paint. They generate turnovers. That's the way you beat them. So it's going to have to be one or both of those guys.
Yep. I agree. Definitely going to target one of those squares for A-Team, B-Team coming up here.
Yeah.
And we'll circle back to that once we go over the prize pick squares. Let's power through these so we have time to craft up.
Yep.
Okay. Goots, you can go to mine real quick, and I'll get them done here. Micah Peavy, more than 8.5 rebounds and assists. This is a square. This is a square. And yes, Frog's legend, Micah Peavy. Jovan, I don't know if you heard the news. I'm sure you did, but Thomas Sorber out for the year for Georgetown. That's a big loss. That kid's good. And Georgetown might be dead at this point, but Micah Peavy's still out there trying to prove something. The kick and hoop. And I don't know if you saw, what he did in that last game once Sorber went out, but Micah Peavy, it's like he had magnets in his hands. He was just a rebounding machine in that last game, stepping up. He's not the biggest guy. He's kind of a 3, But I got a good feeling that Micah Peavy shows up once again on the glass. And let me go ahead and check the Carfax here. Yeah, he ended up with 12 rebounds in that game against Creighton. A 12-piece. It's a shit ton of rebounds, man. And again today, someone's going to have to step up with no Sorber out there. I think Micah Peavy does. They only have a Goblin rebound square up for him, which I thought was super weird. It's almost like they're not letting you take him. And if you want to take him, you got to take him and lay juice, which kind of sucks. So makes me think he's probably going to tweak again on the boards. The only way I could really find out or think about how to take him and involve his rebounds without laying a Goblin was taking his rebounds and assist combo. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 9+ rebounds in this game, to be honest with you, Jovan. So if he goes out there and gets 2 assists like he typically does per game, I got no problems locking in his more than rebounds and assist combo 8.5. I think he's on the glass a monster once again, stepping up with no Sorb.
Sure. I'm down for that. What is this Richie Saunders square, Krabs? I assume this is green. So obviously I can't see the chart.
It could not be more green. It's completely green.
I do have to, I would love to say the fact that you put him on Fraud Watch in Spaces over the weekend that I know was a fraudulent game winner in the free throws because it should not have been a foul, but he hit a game winner after having, I think, a season 9 points.
Jovan, is this the same guy that sold us earlier in the year?
Yeah.
Richie Saunders?
I took him earlier this year and he sold us.
Remember, I was in Dallas. We had a lineup and some BYU guys threes in it.
Was it him?
It might have been him. I don't know. I feel like I remember that name.
Huh.
Well, he's their best player, although he does go ghost mode a lot, but he's the best scorer. And I'm looking at his assist square up there today, Jovan. I'll keep this one simple. It's completely green. You don't see green squares like this very often. It could not be more green. He just had the luckiest game-winning free throws I've ever seen this season. I mean, the gambling gods, the college basketball gods, I guarantee you they're tuning in to this game probably before it even fucking starts tonight, nice and early, before that 9:30 p.m. Eastern late night start against Arizona State tonight. Richie Saunders, he's got a greened out 1.5 assist square. Looks like one of the easiest more thans to click on the college basketball boards. Well, the total in this game's dropping. And I'll tell you right now, the gambling gods, the college basketball gods, I don't think they're going to be very kind to Richie Saunders after that lucky-ass game-winning free throw. They ended up hitting that last game. He had a great game overall. He did, but should not have been a foul call on that, and BYU should have lost. And after BYU got lucky in that game, wouldn't be shocked not only if they don't cover, but if Richie Saunders doesn't go out there and get 2 assists like he's been doing in every damn game. So looks like one of the easiest squares up there on the boards. I'm going to fade it in a game where I like the under, in a game where I like Arizona State, in a game where I think the gambling gods or college basketball gods, they don't let Richie get his after getting lucky as shit in that last game.
Yeah, that could be like the random, I don't know, gambling gods could apply for the BYU whole team in the game too. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah. You got Arizona State kicking BJ Freeman off the team. I think Quaintance is also a little banged up, super short line at home. BYU, completely undeserving win. They got crazy that they're getting gifted games by the refs on Arizona's home court, but something's got to happen. And I know Saunders did have 30 the first time they played. I think that was the first game of Big 12 play. So especially if Quaintance is out, he's probably going to the rack or just chucking all game.
Yeah, I mean, if people cash this more than 1.5 assists, they don't deserve the coins. It shouldn't be that easy.
Sure.
Okay. All right, let's swing it around. So I want to hear your 2 prize pick squares, WNBA angles. Okay.
Yeah. I'm done with the Bulls in the book, and I am done watching the 76ers just have absolutely horrid catch-and-shoot defense and not getting involved when there's a weird-ish square on the board. This one, I guess, especially could hit better because I don't want to say that's blowout protection, but if the game gets a little out of hand and Miles McBride is catching a couple more minutes, that would not hurt, which is always a threat when the 76ers are taking the court. So, yeah, you're damn right. I'm taking it at 2 threes in this game. And then you're damn right for the second game in a row. I'm taking Denny Avdia, especially when you got a little revenge game angle against your Wiz kids, which I think for the last game against the Jazz, I was a little more so relying on his points and I guess playmaking from that, which he also had a great game on the boards, but it's not really what I was taking it for. This game, I think, could be leaning on the RA a little more because in transition, like he's going to be goated. That's what he does against every really bad transition defense. He goes to the rack, he gets to the free throw line. That's going to be the same against the Wizards today, but he's also going to be needed when they're super short and big man depth to be a monster on the boards again and just kind of facilitate everything. So I think it's a golden matchup for him, relatively similar matchup for him, and he's going to grub again. So I'm going back to him.
Okay. Fat girls, bro. I'm not seeing Killian Hayes' PRA up there on the boards. So that'd make it pretty tough to lock that in. But let me know if I'm incorrect. But I'm not seeing him up there. Okay. Yeah, Jovan, I like these two angles. I mean, the Miles McBride one, just a nasty red square as well. And then Denny, obviously returning back home to face off against his former team. That if I was Denny Avdia, I would want to play my best ball against the Wizards, who traded you thinking that you're not going to grow and keep developing, right? And try to sell high on him after one great season. I'm sure that kind of stung, right? I mean, he's a person, right? If he's a normal person, I'm sure that hurt, right? And I think he's probably going to go get his lick back against one of the worst defenses in the NBA tonight. I don't know who the heck on the Wizards can even match up with Denny as well. He's a weird player. I don't know who the heck's Keyshawn George.
I guess, dude. I don't know.
Good fucking luck. If he starts getting downhill and getting in the rack, Keyshawn George is barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
He can
For what it's worth, too.
Arc,
I mean, even though he kind of soared over the PRA in the last game against the Jazz, he really didn't have a good game. Like, he was a free throw merchant. He got a lot of boards and some very lucky assists. But, like, scoring-wise, I mean, he shot 5-15 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. Like, it's really not all that good. So I'm hoping he can at least be more efficient, even though I'm not counting on 1,000,000 points and for that to be like the crutch of the PRA today. But he does have that weird 1.5-3 square, which was also up against the Jazz.
Yeah.
And he's hit that like 1 out of the last 4 or 5 games. Get him active.
Super weird. Let's hope he gets active tonight. Jay Thorpe coming in hot. Want to know who else is barbecue chicken? Trent Attia.
Barbecue.
Rumor has it Trent is firing up the Surge stream this afternoon. Can we clap it up for Trent?
No way.
Can we clap it up for Trent doing job today? Let's fucking go, dude. Clap it up. Let's get some W's going. We got Trent hosting the Surge stream right after this.
He's wearing his
less than 30 minutes.
He's wearing his Ole Miss hat too. Shout out.
Okay.
Dude, I'm sure.
Sure. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. Jovan, I love those squares. I do. And I will lock in the Sharp Report format here shortly. I think for now, we got a couple options. We can go right to the 18B team craft sesh. We could talk a little bit more about the college basketball slate.
I think we got to go. We'll go through slate first, and then 18B team. Because I mean, we usually craft that off of stream anyway. If we need to, we will.
Okay. Let's go through some of these CBB games. Okay. Start out with some of these early Geysermans. I want to talk about Sparty and the Terps. Let's talk about Sparty and the Terps. You got Maryland up to -4.5 against Michigan State. I want to fade Maryland so bad, but it's not going to be easy here. Sparty, though, is 17-9-1 against the spread this season. Cannot let that get swept either. Terps 14-12-1. So they've been pretty good, but Michigan State has been one of the better teams ATS in their conference. And I can't tell you the last time they've lost to Maryland. They never lose to Maryland. Coach Izzo doesn't do it, which makes a lot of sense to me because the Terps are a joke of a program typically, and Spartans have, a Hall of Fame coach that doesn't fuck around. So it makes a lot of sense. Now, this ain't Mima and Peepaw's Terps. I think it's pretty clear at that point.
Crab
ain't
5.
Mima and Peepaw's Terps. It's the Crab 5. I'm sure you saw that clip. I reposted it too. Just great answers from those kids as well. Great replies saying, yeah, sure, we fuck with the nickname. It's awesome. Krabs. We all love Krabs. But we got more guys than just 5 on this team. Great answers. That team's fucking locked in right now. I don't know if I can get to the counter fade in the Terps for a couple reasons. Number one, because Sparty's been so good ATS. Number two, because Sparty's recent dominance against the Terps. Cannot tell you the last time they've lost to Maryland, although could be a game changer this time around with the Terps catching some steam. And this is the best Terps team we've seen in years. I'm going to sit this one out. I'm not going to bet it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Terps win. I don't know if they covered. It's going to be a tight game. I also wouldn't mind the under because this is like I would say a pretty similar matchup for both teams, like on offense, because you're going to have a little bit of trouble in the paint. You got two teams, especially Michigan State, that are just horrendous shooting the ball. And Michigan State just had one of their only good games shooting the ball where they got a ridiculous performance from 3 to win a game on the road at Michigan. So will they do it again? I don't know that they will. And on the other side, I don't know that Maryland's going to have all that much success shooting over the top of a really good Michigan State 3-point defense either.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that under, Jovan. I mean, Sparty's been putting up points.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming off their last game was against Michigan when they could not miss a 3 at the end of that contest. I wouldn't mind fading that offense. on the roads, and I wouldn't mind fading the Terps offense after putting up 88 and 101 in their last 2 games either. That could be a sneaky under.
Yeah.
Totals
This is
dropping as
also
well.
like this is the last big home game for Maryland, which is really keeping me off of any semblance of fading them, I guess, because this is like the finale before they get hot and everybody's going to start picking them in their brackets a lot.
Yes, you are correct. If you don't mind, why don't you pick out another game that starts relatively early that we can talk about? I'm going to lock in this Sharp Report 4-man lineup and drop it for the chat.
Sure.
Maybe Ole Miss Auburn?
Yeah, Ole Miss Auburn could be an interesting one. I will say, just looking at what happened in the SEC yesterday, because the slate for the SEC yesterday and today are built pretty similar. Like, you got the one of the 2 obvious dogs coming through in an upset spot. Those around like the 6.5, 7-ish number. Then you have a couple of bigger favorites that yesterday, like those ended in blowouts. Like Mizzou took care of business pretty easily. They won by 30. Bama won by even more. Miss State was relatively popular yesterday because it looked enticing getting a lot of the points. And then Tennessee won the game, didn't cover. So like now looking at today, the SEC slate seems like pretty much the same thing. You got Auburn hanging 13.5. You got Texas A&M hanging 13.5. And you have 2 closer spread games with like Arkansas and Oklahoma as small dogs at home. So what my brain immediately thinks is that some of those bigger dogs might be barking today, especially because I really don't think anybody's going to want Vandy or Ole Miss. So I automatically lean their way. Would not be shocked if Auburn's got a little slip and they win by like 10.
Could be Padola Day.
Could be.
You know he's going to get the volume. Doesn't matter. Any game, he fucking
Always will.
Always gets the volume. Chad, I dropped the link to the Sharp Report 4-man. If you want to get involved, it is in the Twitch chat. Okay? Get involved. I just dropped it. All right, guys. I think I lean Ole Miss. I don't know if I'm going to get to the counter there, but I'm certainly down to back some road dogs today, like you were talking about, Jovan. Let's look at some of these other good games today. A couple mid-majors, St. Bonaventure and St. Joe's. Pretty solid A-10 matchup here. St. Bonaventure coming off of 2 straight W's, and they have not played yet this season, but I can't tell you the last time St. Joe's has beaten the Bonnies. It's been a minute, but both these teams playing really well over the last week or so. St. Joe's has been playing better, honestly, over the last 3 weeks, and they've been a covering machine. Kind of 2 conflicting thoughts here. Would like to back the Bonnies and fade St. Joe's, who's been red hot, but they own St. Joe's, so I'll probably sit that puppy out.
Yeah, with you on that. Stay away.
I thought George Mason opening up -13 against Fordham, a Fordham team that gets line respect at times. I thought with some respect for George Mason after getting spanked by VCU this weekend, but it's still, second place, really good George Mason. So I don't know if that's the right read, but I certainly lean George Mason there, opening up -13 in a bounce back spot against Fordham, who, whenever they're sharp, they never really come through.
Fair enough. I can go with that.
I want your thoughts on Kansas State UCF.
I mean, it should be Kansas State. It's just I can't buy the bad news with that team, especially right now, because I assume the line move towards UCF means Coleman Hawkins is going to be out again, and that team going on the road at UCF after a couple losses. K-State had their little insanity run where they're beating a lot of these ranked teams, and it's fell apart since then. They just look horrible. I just don't know if I can catch the falling knife with them, especially with potentially no Coleman.
He's not playing tonight.
Yeah, I assumed that was the case. I didn't check reports though.
Highly unlikely from Rothstein. I just confirmed.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to play
the line move
the rest of the season. I mean, why would he?
I don't know. You think he can get another year of eligibility? Probably not.
No, but I mean, what's he coming back for?
It's his last. He doesn't have any more games.
Yeah, but Coleman Hawkins, well, he thinks he's a lot better than he is. So he's probably like, let me save my body to potentially make a run at the NBA, when in reality, you're making a run towards the Lithuanian league.
Yeah. I mean, he might just take his NIL bag and run. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Okay. I like Kansas State here. I don't know if I'm going to play them, but I do kind of want to buy the bad news, and I lean their way on the spread +4.5 against a UCF team that is that bad and coming off a big win finally. So
horrendous team.
Yeah, I like Kansas State. Let's keep moving here. Thoughts on I like Loyola, Maryland. The Greyhounds against Bucknell getting 2.5, but we're not going to spend time talking about that. Just a lean. Pretty weird line there. Don't fade American. They probably beat Navy after Navy got a big overtime win. Could be a good late piece for American.
Dude, do they play every game? I swear I see them play every game.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like American plays every single day of the week. Yes. I feel like we bring them up every day.
American Navy, I feel like I see that 4 times a week.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong. And they did play, last month. And Navy beat them up pretty good. So it's probably American there is a good lay piece, to be honest with you. That team just covers and wins 9 out of 10 times. Thoughts on Vandy and A&M?
Yeah, one of those road dogs is going to be barking, I think, whether it's Ole Miss or Vandy. So, I don't know if I'm just going to get to the counter with taking both of them, but I think the one that people want least is definitely Ole Miss out of the two, just because they're playing Auburn, but Auburn has massive look-ahead spots. So I wouldn't count out Vandy either, because as small as Vandy is and as tough as it'll probably be for them to rebound against Texas A&M, they're also going to make them shoot, which I think we all know Texas A&M cannot do. So, like, Vandy's 3-point defense is pitiful. So I would not be shocked if Vandy sneaks in that game.
Neither would I. I think Vandy just has some magic going on there as well. I think you just bet that fucking team in any sport. We might have to start finding more sports.
For what it's
we
worth,
might have to start betting them in baseball.
Maybe they're a first half bet team, because pretty much every single game they've gone on the road, they have really struggled to cover lately, but they've been in the game for first halves of every single game, it seems.
Right.
They're just falling apart at the end.
Yeah, man. I like Vandy, but I don't know if I can get there.
Yeah.
Here's a play I like better that I might end up getting there is Syracuse tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Kind of want to bet Syracuse on the ML and fade NC State, who's just a fraud, coming off of 2 wins in their last 3. So you might see people buying back in. Might have to back your guy, Eddie Lampkin, and the Orange at home tonight on the ML.
Yeah, I'm with you. And rare time that I actually think I love the matchup for Eddie Lampkin, which is rare. So,
yep.
I would not mind backing him for maybe the first time since he was in Frogs Uni.
Sure. Okay. Certainly like Syracuse there. JJ Starling coming off a pretty good game as well for the first time in a while. So hopefully he carries that confidence into tonight. Thoughts on the Irish and Clemson? If I could confirm the Irish were fully healthy and they were moving to plus 14.5, I probably would not like them. And looking at the spread, though, it's probably more realistic that Shrewsbury is going to be out again. And we might not see a Loco either, right? They might even be without both of them. So probably not going to bet this game. We'll take our money and run from the weekends when those guys got ruled out and still came through and covered. Showed so much fucking heart. Shout out Notre Dame against Pitt over the weekend. I'll probably sit this one out, Jovan. I don't know if I can get there.
Yeah, kind of with you. I am in the back of my head, though, because just like Texas Tech, everybody started to finally talk about them after that Houston game, and then they had some pretty unfortunate results in the next couple weeks, including against Houston in the rematch. Everybody's finally starting to talk about Clemson. That's probably not good news. So while this game might not be the game to start fading them because Notre Dame's horrible and shorthanded, it's probably going to be pretty soon.
If the Irish were healthy and not coming off that big win and we're still plus 12.5, would be all over them.
Yeah.
But you're right. Could be a good time to fade Clemson no matter what, because they are getting slurped. Had the ACC network on last night after the Hokies game, and they were talking about how legit this Clemson team is. So, could be a good time to fade. Okay. Couple more. Chad, if we don't get to the 18B team, we'll craft offline and we'll post ASAP. I want to make sure we have some time to talk about some of these good matchups in college basketball. I certainly lean USF against Temple. I don't know if you've seen what's going on over there with that line, but both the teams are terrible and playing terrible right now. But I think UCF is the better squads, and they're down from plus 3.5 to plus 1.5 in this game. Maybe it's some injury news with Mashburn. I don't know. I can look into it, but certainly a little curious to see USF on the road down to plus 1.5.
Yeah, I'd probably lean Temple. Wow.
Okay.
It's probably some Mashburn stuff, but if you remember, Krabs, this was the Abdul Rahim funeral celebration game that was in Tampa the first time that, frankly, USF, it felt like there was some magic in that game and they're never really going to lose it, but they had no business winning that game. They tried to sell it so many times. They played horrible down the stretch, and ended up winning. I think it was in double overtime. So, I mean, it was a very odd game, also without Mashburn. And now script flipped. I think the basketball gods give Temple one, but they also played pretty well against USF in the second half of that game. If they weren't so horrible the first 20, they probably win that game and spoil the Abdul Rahim celebration.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing Jamal Mashburn, Jamel Brown, and Quante Berry are all questionable tonight for Temple. So I'm good on that game.
Yeah.
They're still favorites. Okay. Let's keep moving and grooving here, folks. George Washington, Loyola Chicago. I kind of lean G-Dub on the road there. Loyola Chicago's ripped off 4 straight dubs. Wouldn't mind back in the Revolutionaries. This time around, getting 4.5 on the road. Crazy mascot. What else we got here? Drake Evansville. Almost got to the counter with Evansville. I'm not going to lie to you. Still might. Evansville getting 8.5 points at home against Drake. Fading Drake doesn't work this season, but they're starting to show that they're human. I know they're still winning games right now, but they're not covering every single game. I didn't love that Evansville is coming off of 3 straight covers, but they are playing much better right now. Probably the best stretch they've played in all season, and thought that spread was a little tight. Was expecting double digits for Drake. People forget they only have 3 losses this season. Pretty fucking crazy. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody cares. I think it's Evansville getting single digits on the spread.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't get to counter with fading Drake, especially when it's Evansville. I've bitten the bullet on Evansville quite a couple times this season, and I'm good doing it here, especially after they ripped off 3 covers in a row. It's pretty impressive for them.
Yep. They lost 63-40 last month. Evansville did. Drake was laying 16. They cover with ease. Now the spread this time around is 8.5. Something looks fishy there for me.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, fading Drake is bad business this season. So I'm not going to recommend that to people, but I might end up being on Evansville. Okay. And yeah, I think Drake has officially won that conference. So that's also a very good point. Could be a good, fat, happy, complacent spot.
Yeah. Right? Unless they're like McNeese, who won by 40.
Yeah. Maybe no pressure results in better play. Right.
Yeah.
You're on Penn State on the spreads. Any thoughts on Villanova and Seton Hall tonight?
Forks in my eyes would be better than watching and betting that game.
Okay. I think Nova's a really good lay piece. I'm not going to bet them to cover a second time around when they've already beaten Seton Hall once this year. I think Seton Hall is actually that bad and still gets minimal line respect too. So I think it's probably Villanova there as an ML piece, but I'm not going to get to the counter. Okay.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Texas, Arkansas? Texas has been a pretty popular play, Jovan, but definitely looks sharp as well. And fading Arkansas, coming off that big time win, could be the move. Texas not been very good to bettors recently. They have not covered their last 5 games in a row. These guys already played once this season. Arkansas beat them by 8 at Texas. Now we're seeing Texas down to plus 2.5 on the road this time around.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I don't know. Remember that was the squad ride game where we had them plus 7 and it was never a sweat, and they made it closer than it actually was towards the end of that game. But that was one of Arkansas's better complete performances on the road. So I assume the move is a little injury related. Yeah, that's probably what our guy's saying. Thero's not playing, but in reality, the only thing you need to do to beat Texas, or in this case, cover 2.5 because you're a small favorite, stop Trey Johnson from going 60% from the field or better, because they don't win games if that doesn't happen. And nobody else can really score on that team. And I think they're disastrous matchups everywhere else, as we found out in the first game where he really struggled and everybody else really struggled. So I'd be willing to buy that. And I'm definitely a little biased towards the Hogs because I like that team, and I've been fading Texas and making a lot of coin the entire conference season because they're horrible. But I'd be willing to fade this one.
Okay. Interesting. Wanted to see where Trey Johnson's squares were at for today. Let's see. He's got 21 point square up there. I mean, I don't know how much higher they can make it, but the guy's been absolutely tweaking.
I mean, he takes 20 plus shots a game for the most part. Yeah. He took, in the first matchup, he took 22, 6 for 22, and he also shot a ton of free throws and had 25 points.
E-Mace, we got Trent running the stream today. He's back. Make sure you guys stick around. Surge stream starting up here in about 10 minutes. Okay. All right, Jovan. I don't know if I'm going to get involved with Texas there with the Thiero injury news. Makes that line movement make a lot more sense, but TBD on that.
Yep.
I'll tell you what I certainly will be on is Butler tonight.
Yep.
Has to be
Do
done.
that. Kentucky,
Valpo.
Oklahoma thoughts?
Ooh, Oklahoma. Yeah, I like Oklahoma.
I think I like Kentucky.
I
think I just
might. 2.5 on the road.
Yeah, and I mean, Oklahoma coming through in multiple sharp spots at home in a row, which I'm always scared to bet them at home when they're in sharp spots because they very rarely come through, and they finally got one under their belt over the weekend against Miss State where they looked fantastic. I mean, offensively at least, their defense was horrid. I have a hard time believing they're going to guard Kentucky, and it definitely helps that if there's any team it's not really going to hurt you as much, not having primary ball handlers, which I don't know, like, who may or may not be back for Kentucky if that's going to be the case tonight, but it's not really going to matter against Oklahoma because they don't force turnovers. They don't put ball pressure on guards. There's nothing really there.
I still like Oklahoma because of the line, but I swear to God, I can't get a read on this team. And every time I bet Oklahoma in a sharp spot, they never come through.
Yeah.
Stayed
that's
off
what
them
I'm
this
saying.
past
They
weekend.
finally just got one this weekend. So if they get 2 in a row, tip cap.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to bet that one.
I do have to call your attention to this while we move these games. You see this game in Arizona tonight?
I do. Against Utah?
Yeah. You know what Utah just did?
Fired
their coach.
Oh, shit.
After a loss to UCF. I mean, I'd fire my coach if we had a chance after losing to UCF. Horrendous ball club down there. So not only is it that, Krabs, but it's also one of those obvious bounce back spots because Arizona just got absolutely robbed of a game by the refs at the end by BYU. Now they're hanging the double-digit number around 2 touchdowns. Wouldn't it be something?
I mean, we don't have a choice. We have to bet Utah if they fire their coach. So,
yeah, we'll make
system
the rules.
play. System play. I'm not too hype about it. I'll be honest. That team sucks.
I'm hype about it.
That is a giant spread.
If they're going to cover that, it has to be Gabe Madsen.
It would probably have to be, yeah.
So he got squares up.
He does, yeah. He's got a 3 square up, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
15.5 points.
Really, I don't know that it's that fat. Looking at the lines on the road that Utah's been getting. Utah was plus 17 on the road against Iowa State. They're plus 17 on the road against Houston. Feels like right in line with that, I would say. They were plus 11 on the road against Baylor, of all teams. Granted, that was a little earlier before. I think Baylor line respect has been dwindling a little bit, but yeah, it seems on par.
Okay. A couple other late night games here that I would love to talk about real quick. Kind of a loaded late night slate, to be honest with you. BYU, Arizona State. I kind of want to back the Sun Devils. I'm not going to lie. They just kicked their best player off the team. BYU's coming off that lucky ass win. I kind of want to back Arizona State.
Yeah, I won't tell you no. Those are two that can be your nasty angle, and I'll take the Utes.
Okay. All right. What about Ohio State, USC? Looks like Ohio State is now flipped to a favorite on the roads. Jesus.
Yeah, Ohio State sharp, Krabs.
So what do you
We
do?
know about that.
You take the Trojans and do the opposite of what looks sharp in the Ohio State game, and you make coins. That's what you do.
Yeah, pretty likely. I don't have
Ohio State flip to a fave. Go ahead and lock in the Trojans.
Yeah, I don't have the nuts to actually fade this one and be on the other side like Northwestern, but it's probably what's going to happen.
Okay. I think Boise wins, and they beat Utah State for the first time in a minute.
Really?
You got Utah State coming off that big-time win where they closed it out strong against San Diego State. That game was down to the wire. They won by 8, though, and they covered. So it looks like it wasn't really that close, but it was.
Yeah.
Utah State has been great so far this season, but the Broncos are playing really well right now, too. And they're catching some serious steam. So I think Boise is a very good parlay piece tonight. I think they win the game. I don't know if they win by 5, but I do think they win that game tonight. Thought that was some serious respect for the Broncos, more than usual, against a really good Utah State team.
Yeah, I can respect that. It's a spot where I guess the obvious revenge spots, minus maybe one, like Nevada a couple days ago. The spot where it's been hitting, it's been in the Mountain West.
Yep.
I have no problem with that.
Anything in SMU Cal or San Fran, Oregon State? I got nothing.
SMU Cal total looks high.
Yeah.
And this is a Cal team. They already played once, and the total soared under by like 15 points or so, and it was lower than it is right now. And Cal's coming off of a couple games where they look really, really bad on offense, and they've had 3 straight road games, and they're finally coming home to Cal up there. So I think this is going to be a shootout.
Okay. Maybe an over, some points in that SMU Cal game tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, chat, we did not get to the 18-B team today, but that's okay. We did get through the entire college basketball slate, or at least the games we wanted to talk about. We will post the 18 and B team later this afternoon. Okay. Jovan, we got a couple minutes left here. You ready to craft up a squad ride for tonight?
Yep.
Let's get to it. Gutsy, run that shit. I want to see that train. All right, chat. W squad ride yesterday with Illinois. Love to see it. Great play. W trust. Jovan, I'm looking at the plays we have for today. I really like the under in the South Alabama Southern Miss game. I think that's my favorite play today.
I can get down with that. You know, I'm always down for some South Alabama usage.
Yep. Under 138.5.
What's your pulse on Butler here?
I do really like Butler. I think I'd rather put them in than Missouri State, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. That one
Okay.
feels
Butler
like
plus 6.5.
the play that all of chat hates. That Krabs just squeaks in there.
Yeah, man. Looking at your plays here, what are you most confident in? Penn State, UVA, or the Clippers?
Penn State.
Okay. Whew. Not going to be easy today, chat.
Won't be easy. You could also sneak the Utes in there. Could be a possibility.
I mean, it's assisted play. I'm down to let chat decide there. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on Utah. I don't make the rules there, guys. It's just a mandatory tail with the Utah Utes. Fire their coach, system play. So Utah plus 15.5. They're up to now. We'll lock them in there. You want to go Utah, Penn State, Butler, and that under in Southern Alabama, Southern Miss?
It's a big 4 right there.
Okay. Let's run it, Gutsy. Let's run it for 2 minutes. Chat, get involved. All right, 4 plays, 4 winners. Let's cash back-to-back squad rides, please. Okay, click the right button of the play you know is turning green. You can feel it in your plums. All right, lock in. Select the fucking play that you're in love with for today. A play that you cannot stop thinking of since we brought it up. Okay, lock in, guys. 4 plays, 4 winners. You got 2 minutes to vote. South Alabama, Southern Miss under. You got Butler plus 6.5. Penn State plus 5.5. And how about the Utes getting 15.5 after firing their coach?
The Utes.
Okay.
The Utes are going to like almost win outright or get blasted by 40. There's no in between.
Yeah.
So that should be a fun one. We got a good race.
Yeah, we do. We got a little 2-headed race here. Penn State and the Utes. We'll see what ends up winning this puppy, chat. And again, I want to repeat it. We got Trent hosting the Surge stream right after this. Okay, in about 1 minute. So stick around, same channel. You don't have to go anywhere. All right, do me a favor. Bring some good energy today for the Surge stream and pitch Trent a winner for tonight. 0 excuses. Everybody in here should be getting ready to pitch a play for Trent. We got a loaded college basketball slate, plenty of NBA and NHL, right? We got no excuses today. Plenty of games.
None.
Plenty of games. All right, get involved, chat. Please click the right button. Click the play that you know is turning green. All right, 4 plays, 4 winners. Butler plus 6.5. The under in South Alabama, Southern Miss. Penn State plus 5.5. And we've got Utah plus 15.5. Okay? Dubs.
Any thoughts on the Burnerverse, Krabs?
No, I really don't. That shit makes me sad and grossed out. I'll be honest with you.
That there's some insane things happening on SEC Twitter.
Yeah, I hope it's all fake, to be honest with you.
The thing is, it's just like so elaborate at this point. I don't know how it could be.
Yeah, I do not disagree. I don't think it's a realistic possibility that all of it's fake, but I'm rooting for that to be the case.
Yeah, fair.
Oh, the hell is wrong with people, man? Why can't people just be normal? We got Risings coming in, dropping a resub. Let's go, my man. W 18 months certified Bookit toddler. Let's go, Risings. W subby, my man. We appreciate you. All right, yeah. Let's bring the good energy and let's bring some good plays for the third stream right after this. All right, let's keep Trent locked in. We'll cash Penn State tonight plus 5.5. Knock on woods. Call meet up at the cash counter afterwards. All right, stick around for the third stream right after this, and we'll catch you guys